person to the audience, and I just love to connect people and bring them together and share whatever we know.
I agree. And on that note, we have to say hi to our friend John Christian. Hi, John. I know you're working today. I hope everything's going well. And hi also to Dina Kaplan. I'm happy to make that connection for you two as well. So I think that's great. We just keep introducing people, and who knows where it's going to take all of us, right?
Absolutely. No, I mean, it's so fantastic, especially with the new technologies for the last centuries. We can connect with all over the world in different medias and even see each other, connect with each other. It's just amazing. Absolutely.
It is definitely a gift. And Roland, you have brought a gift to this program today. Your guest and friend is really fantastic, and it's an important topic, hospitality. But before we bring him on, I want to spotlight you. And if you would just share with our audiences the work that you're doing and how you're helping other people.
Yeah, thank you. Well, my mission is just to make this world a better place for everybody. And my main focus is I have a long experience in coaching, consulting, what I call sparring. I'm a sparring partner for leaders in the industry internationally. And I help them not only to perform much better in the business, but also, to have a more fulfilled and happy life. So because everybody who is working and goes to a job, doesn't matter if it's a manager or blue collar worker, it doesn't matter at all. But as long as we are working, we are not at home with the people we love, the persons we love, our spouse, our kids, or our family, friends, whatever. So for me, it's very important that when we come back home to our families, to our kids, or our beloved ones, that we have a fulfilled day and we are happy, that we say, okay, it was a good day. I did the best I could give, and now I have time. I can recover. I have time with my family and spend this time with family, because I see many, many times something totally different. People are exhausted, have a burnout. They come home, they have an addiction, whatever it is. It's sports like crazy or drugs or whatever they're doing, and they're not really present when they're coming home to their beloved ones. So my mission is to really help these people, on the other hand, to perform much better on the job, but on the other hand, to have a fulfilled life and coming back home after work really fully energized and happy and fulfilled. That's my mission.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, the technology, our computer seems to be stuck at the moment. But while you're on Spotlight, if you could includes the word spar. So what does sparring mean? Why did you choose that title?
Well, actually, sparring, it comes from the boxing, yeah? When you prepare for a boxing fight, you have a sparring partner. You train with this sparring partner to be fit for the fight, meaning be fit for the real fight. And the same do my team and myself do with our clients. We make them fit for the real world. We make them fit for the market. We make them fit for the clients. We make them fit to compete against the competitors. That's why I choose sparring, because a coach does coaching, a consultant does consulting, a trainer does trainer, and a sparring partner combines all this together to make the client fit for the real world. That's why I choose the word sparring partner with partner performance systems.
All right, I think we lost it for seconds. So if you could share with our audience a little bit about your guest and why you invited him to the program today, that would be terrific.
Of course, yeah. I met Juan Carlos, I guess, 14 years ago on the island here, and he and his family became a very good friend of myself, and I really appreciate what he's doing. He was very successful in the hospitality industry in different levels as a CEO for huge international hotel chains. And now he founded his own enterprise because he found out that there has to be a change in the hospitality industry to survive the next years, because everybody is or has at least experienced the pandemic. So there was travel restrictions, the travel industry is going down, hospitality industry is down. And I guess it's not going back to the old normal, but it's going back to the new normal, or what Juan was saying, to the next normal. So I guess it's very interesting what his ideas are helping the hospitality industry to survive the next years, because it's really dramatic what's going on right now.
It sure is, absolutely. And I think I shared with you before we went live the fact that I actually worked in the hospitality industry for a number of years. And I understand the impact and the toll that it has taken on so many businesses, and so many people have lost their jobs. They've had to transition to other things. There are many countries that rely on tourism, and the hospitality industry is a huge part of that. And so we need to support everybody who's in these industries. We need to start traveling again. And let's bring on Juan and hear what he has to say. Hi, welcome to the show, Juan.
Good morning to everyone and afternoon to us here in Europe.
Hello, Juan. Good to see you, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome.
Well, it's a pleasure to have both of you here. And I apologize, we had some technological issues before. They seem to have gone away. So, Juan, you are in an industry, as we were just talking about, that has been so pivotal and really the center and foundation of so many other industries. And you've really been hard hit in the hospitality. What have you observed there in Mallorca?
Well, Mallorca, we are one of the main touristic destinations in Europe, and we receive around 14 million clients every year and around 20 to 22 million visitors that come in and out. So for us, 80% of our economy depends on tourism. So as Spain is a service country, we are even more dependent on this client that don't come since 2019. So in 2019, we had this 14 million clients, and by August this year, we are having less than 1/3, maybe 4 million, and that hits everyone. I mean, that's dramatic for all businesses, small, medium, and large businesses.
Oh my gosh, there's some serious numbers. I'm sorry to hear that. What are the travel situations like now for people to be able to come back?
Right now, things are getting little by little into, let's say, the next normal, as Roland well said, but it's not over. It all starts since 1.5 years that we've been said not to travel, be careful. The staycations have raised everywhere in the world, but in Europe, which was not normal because you were in 2 hours in Mallorca. I mean, from London, Berlin, Paris, you could come here with barely no time and enjoy a beautiful destination. This made that 40%, around 40%, the studies that I've read, 40% of the Europeans don't want to travel. Then we have the airline industry that went, most of them, bankrupt, or they had to reduce heavily their activity. All that made that our services here in the destinations were heavily reduced. So all the chain is touched, tour operators, hotels, restaurants, bars, and the whole economy in Spain is suffering.
I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm wondering, are many of the people that you know in your network, people that you had been working with for all these years, have they taken up other types of professions? Have they left the industry?
Right now, the government is not as in the United States. The government usually they give subventions to the unemployed, but it's not enough. They need to reactivate the economy, and that's why I came up with the company to help those small, medium companies to react, to be leaner, to be faster, because most of them, they are not realizing, they're waiting, and that's the funny thing. They're waiting to the ancient normal. Well, they don't realize that all this is here to stay.
And it sounds like you have a solution for them.
Well, I don't have all the solutions, but of course the structures were made for ancient times, and now the digital world is evolving rapidly. So most of those companies, they don't know how to face it. They have good professionals, but they don't know where to start with.
Roland, what are your thoughts about what's going on there with hospitality?
Well,
Well,
like,
there will
well, I
go
think
on.
it's like in many other industry that my clients is, they're stuck. And the thing is, when you are confronted with the situation that you have never experienced before, we know it from science, from brain science. Our we are communicating with the outer world. Our brain is communicating with the outer world by our senses, what we see, what we hear, what we smell, uh, what we taste, what we touch. So we get all this information, millions of bits come into our brain. And the brain is looking for references. Do I already have I seen this? Have I heard this? Have I smelled it? Whatever. So do I know how to handle with the situation? When something comes in that is out of normal, like a crisis, then some people are really challenged by this and they don't know what to do. They're stuck and they sit like a mouse in front of the snake and they are not able to react. There's a wonderful book out by an amazing author, Ben Sherwood. He says, "Who survives? Who survives a crisis and who doesn't?" And he's a scientist. He describes it uh, really fantastically. What we can do to get out of this stuck, because people are really in a trap. And also this also happens to very highly educated managers. They are triggered by a crisis and they're just waiting. They're passive. They're paralyzed. And some people get out of this situation very fast. Some people need a longer time, and some people are really just caught in a trap.
Well said. And I think that there's some people who are even resistant to admitting that they need help. And there are others who realize they need it, but are too embarrassed to ask for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of difference. And again, Juanco, he has also a lot of experience. You lived in the United States and many other countries. That the Europeans are not so open-minded than the US people. US people are much more open-minded in sharing contact, sharing network, also asking for help. When somebody's very successful, what my experience when I was in the US is everybody comes to you and wants to have tips and advice. When you are successful in Europe, people say, "Oh, why is successful, not me?" There's more jealousy instead of seeing this person or this enterprise as a role model and copy it. So we have a different approach in Europe. I don't know how you see it, Franco, but that's my experience.
Absolutely, absolutely, Roland. You're from Austria. I'm from Spain. I lived in 8 different countries, lived, studied, and worked. And it's funny, but we are quite more conservative. And in a way, they do not want to show that they have a problem or they don't know how to face it. And also, many executives, they rely on big consultant companies that basically they send their juniors and ask them what to do and put it in a presentation or copy a presentation of some other industry, but they don't implement it. They don't do it with them. And that's the biggest difference, is by showing them with example how the change has to be embraced, how you can adapt to it, and without any shame or because what is the worst? That the worst thing that it can happen is that you will die anyway. So why not to try?
Absolutely.
All good points. And, Roland, you just cleared something up for me, which I really appreciate. That, I'm very much about connecting other people and giving contacts and sharing. But I have found some people across the pond are not as receptive. And I was wondering why that was. So I guess it's just a cultural thing.
Absolutely, it's absolute cultural shift. I know I'm now 57 now, and when I was trained by my father, having connections or having a network in German we say Beziehungen was something negative. We called it vitamin B, B like Beziehungen, yeah, was something negative. But what I learned when I came to the US and I interacted with US friends, I was on a university at Athens, Ohio University. I had a chance to study there for 2 semesters. And I learned, my goodness, these people are open-minded. They share the knowledge. They share the network. What a different world. And I copied them and role modeled them 30 years ago and came back to Europe and shared this information because Europeans are, as Juanco said, we are not so open-minded. We are not so open-minded, unfortunately. But it's getting better because the globe is more international now. We are connected all over the world, so it's getting better and better. But I guess Europe still is very conservative in this manner.
Well, that's really good to know. Thank you for sharing that. So we're going to take a break now and hear from some of our sponsors, and we've got a lot more to talk about when we come back with Juan. Juan, I'm really interested in you sharing how you work with clients and the value that you can bring in that area. How does that sound?
Great. I will explain it to you.
Okay, wonderful. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Hi, welcome back to USA Global TV, home of Talking Heads, and also welcome back to our friends on Business Talk Radio. You are watching or listening the Mallorca Connection, and my co-host, Mr. Roland Friedl, and our guest, Juan Calvo. Juan is the CEO and founder of Boutique Hotels Management. Juan, I'm going to spotlight you and just ask you to share with our audiences, what exactly is Boutique Hotels Management? What do you do there?
Boutique hotels management is the way we have to help other companies in a tailor-made way to adapt their structures and their staff to the new or the next normal. Basically, what we do is we take the new client-centered world that many companies still in the product-oriented or finance-oriented reality, and we turn it around. I mean, we turn it around by implanting us for 12 or 24 months, and through experience and through 25 years sales and marketing operations and CEO experience, we help them to shorten the processes and be fastest, taking digital tools and other experience that we have into their boat.
Thank you very much, Juan. I'm wondering, at what point does the client engage with you? Is this a startup? Is it an established company? Is it a company going through transition, a company in a pandemic?
We have two different types of clients. We do have companies that are already existing, but they have a structural problem, and their owners or their heads, they know that their actual executive team is not yet capable or adaptable to do it. So we implant ourselves, we train their teams, their executive teams, and we help them to change the structure, simplify certain processes, and on the same time, just show them the path. So when we leave, they know where to go. And then the startups are basically new projects, because in the hospitality industry, there is going to be a major oversell of beds. It means that we have too many hotels for the demand that we will have. So many buildings will be totally renovated, and they will be totally reconceptualized. And there is where those startups are starting to be really strong by reconceptualizing, bringing those buildings into life, back to life, and giving the service that most of the new clients want.
Yeah, absolutely. Juan, we before we discussed that the hospitality industry and many other industry really have a crisis, but I strongly believe that what you see is a crisis. For me, is a huge chance for those who are flexible, for those who can adapt quickly, for those who innovate. And maybe it sounds a little bit rough, but this is my absolute opinion. A crisis is a chance because it kicks a lot of competitors out of the market. So for those who are flexible, who adapt, who learn, who reflect, is a huge chance. So what do you think for the future, for the next normal? Is interesting to know for the hospitality industry. What do travelers, what do people, tourists expect from the hospitality industry in the future?
The people expect basically that we adapt and change their their new life, to their next life. Hospitality industry itself has not really evolved since the 90s. If you take a look at it, and they're allowing new business models to step in, but not merging properly with them. It means, for example, Uber, Airbnb stepped in, but hoteliers, restaurants, and other businesses are not merging and not properly working with them. Now travelers are multi-segmented, informed, and really well-connected community. That what they look is for agile and fast answers to their needs. So the hospitality industry must forget the past, adapt their core values, and face that new reality. And that comes with the culture of the company, the culture and the purpose. And the culture is just changed from the very top until the lower shapes.
Absolutely, and I believe that the larger an organization, the less flexible they are. It's like the larger boat, the larger tank, the harder it is to navigate. Yeah, but the smaller a business, the smaller organization, I guess it's more easier to navigate. So I believe that smaller business, what you see, what is your opinion in the hospitality industry? But I guess smaller businesses are much more flexible and can much sooner and better adapt to the new demands of the industry. Or what do you see?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, between 60 and 70% from all businesses in the hospitality industry are small and medium-sized businesses. This means that they are capable of adapting. The issue is that on the last 30, 40 years, they've been copying the big ones. And that was a mistake. Why? Because big companies, they have their structures, their finance, their brand. So it doesn't have anything to do with the reality of small and medium companies. So right now we have some examples, yes, but they are the less, let's say. Those companies have really made a change by themselves. Their culture, their main proposition had to change, and that you need a lot of strength and a lot of self inner inspection to be able to do it. Many owners are still not realized.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you, Juan. I did a lot of traveling in my corporate career, and I noticed over time there were different shifts that seemed to be taking place in the hospitality industry, and it seemed to be migrating to really be more about the traveler, whether it was the business traveler or the leisure traveler. And you would see fitness being incorporated, in some cases yoga, meditation, different things in your room that you could use. The electronics were changed, and it seemed to be a more streamlined process, keyless entry, swiping, and quick check-ins and check-outs. What do you think the next phase is going to be, given everything that the industry's been through?
The next normal for me is big companies or medium companies will change their structure, all executive management, because it comes from the very top. I mean, those what you were saying, those were now they're commodities. It means that everyone expects that. So that's the thing. Base and middle management staff will be empowered, and they will be closer to the decision-making process. It means that you will be faster on answering everyone's demand. Automation and digital transformation are changing the way we work. They are allowing us to spend more time with the core of our business, the client, and that's what we forgot. We were forgetting our client while we were cleaning the room, putting the amenities, and focusing on product and not the client itself. And the next step is clients, they want new things. They want changing things. And by doing this, it's how we will change. It's easy to say, but few know how to do it. You know, it's what I was telling you about. If they need help, they look at the big ones or they go to big consultant companies, and they don't have to do that. They have to look into themselves, see what they are good at, and if they have a good base of clients, ask them. But some of them, they don't have the technology, they don't have the right processes, or they don't have the right management. So that's what we do. We help them to go through all those steps.
I guess we have in the hospitality the same shift. It went from a seller's market to a buyer's market. I guess that's what the industry has to learn. It's all about the client. It's all about the tourist. And as you said, they always look at their product, but they never ask the client, what do you really need? What is important for you? Yeah, I guess that's the gap.
Yeah, that's it. And I've been CEO, chief sales and marketing officer, chief operating officer, and I truly tell you, we lost that, and we are looking more at the numbers on the presentations, and we are forgetting, because bureaucracy is killing most of the organization. When you put layers over layers, the client is buried underneath. So what we have to do is get like thinner. I mean, we have to get in shape, take all the grease and all the stuff that we had before, and just talk to the client, but making the client feel really comfortable, because right now they need different things. They need digitalization because some of them they don't want the physical approach. Some of them they need actually a lot of talking, not content, but talking because they don't have they don't treat anyone when they're at home. And we have to be really conscious that they've been saving a lot of money throughout the year to come and visit us. It's where their dreams come true. When they go to a city, they do leisure right now. They work and they enjoy. But when you come to a hotel like here in Mallorca, you come because you have a dream. You are envisaging what you want to have. So it's up to us to deliver. And that was forgotten because there was so much demand that we forgot about the client. And now is when the good ones are going to be the ones taking the less clients that are going to come.
Absolutely.
Well, I think this is really encouraging because it sounds like the individual person is empowered to address the client need instead of, I'll get back to you. I have to talk to this person, that person. I'll call you. I'll write you. It's like, no, you have the ability right now to make this client a lifelong client by making a decision on site.
Absolutely. And through technology right now, it's before we had a pile of information that we didn't know how to put in place. Right now, there are so many tools, internal or external, that you can put and you can really fit into your actual technology. So you get faster to them, you answer faster, and you avoid all those layers that we're not allowing that person that is in front of you to give you a response or to answer your question properly.
Yeah, Juan, in preparation of this show, I googled a lot of websites from huge hotel chains, from medium-sized enterprises and different ones. And what I found and what was really embarrassing for me was, as a consultant, as a sparring partner in the industry, what I see is they always present on the website what they're offering, what is their product, but they're never talking about the why. They're never talking about the clients. And what I read in between the lines is, I guess they have no idea who the targeted client really is, or who this client really wants.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I didn't know much about what I really wanted. But with the time and experience, I realized what I don't want. I was losing and feeling of making people's dreams come true. I was losing it, and due to those company silos, bureaucracy, and ego problems in many organizations. Basically, I was turning gray and grumpy, and my professional ego was mismatched with my real personality. But luckily, I woke up, and then I knew that I had to do something. The problem is the purpose. The purpose of your life as an executive, the purpose of the company as a company has to come together. You have to feel aligned. And without a purpose, no organization and no human being can work and can live. So the organizations that have a purpose and it goes at the very top of their priorities and not the what and the how will be the ones leading.
Absolutely. And I guess when you're in the hospitality industry and you want to offer your customers, your client, a nice atmosphere, a well-being. For me, it's so important. I traveled all the world, but I have a very few hotels in the world that I say I'm coming home, because they do something absolutely different. They really care about me, and I feel really home, not being a paying guest in a hotel. And I miss this in many hotels because they absolutely have no idea what to do.
Yes. Why? Because those employees that were receiving you, those hotels that you remember, they had a purpose because their company gave them a purpose. Yeah. It's about culture. It's about culture of the company, purpose of the company, and how you match it with human beings. Because we don't have to forget, we are an industry that works 100% basically with human beings that serve other human beings that are being answered to their needs and their dreams. And we don't have to lose that. When you lose that purpose and you turn it into a product-based service or a financial ending service where you buy a glass and you serve something and you deliver and you win money, wrong.
Yeah. Well, I guess you work with human beings. I mean, it's not about human resources, it's about human relations. And I believe what I want to mention is when you really want to service somebody, and you have to be happy. You have to be on a mission, not just doing a job. not just doing a job, not just doing a 9 to 5 job. So really have to be on a mission. You have to be mission driven on okay, I want to make this happy person. I want to make this person happy. Sorry. So it doesn't matter if it's a business trip, and this person, this business woman or this businessman just wants to recover in the room or whatever after a business trip, or this person is coming for vacation as a family, whatever. You have to be on a mission and you really want to love to serve, but you only can serve somebody when you feel good. If you're under stress and you're not fulfilled and you are already for burnout because it's always cost driven, then you cannot deliver the service.
Yeah, I've been experiencing that, Roland, since we met, and 10 years more, for 25 years. And I tell you what, I came to the conclusion, and it's quite simple, that money is a consequence of the job that we do, but is not the purpose of the organization. This is why many organizations right now are dying. This is why.
Yeah.
Roland and Juan, I think you've hit on some really important points, and I'd like to sort of delve into it a little bit deeper, because I think at the core, whether you're small, medium, large business, whether you're catering to business travelers, leisure, sales incentive programs, it's about the people in the organization having a culture of recognition or a place where people feel comfortable. They are brand ambassadors for where they work. So Juan, in the work that you do with your company, Boutique Hotels Management, how important is it when you speak with the decision makers that they have some type of plan, some type of strategy to let their workforce know how important they are to them?
First, it's reviewing their actual proposition, their what are their cultural values, and what if they're matching with the actual reality. Normally, when we go with them and we see the matching is totally mismatched. There are several tools that you can use, and they see by themselves that they're mismatched. So what they do, we align them, we help them to align their culture, we put the why before everything, and we start to work with their executive team, which it's the most important, because those are the ones that create the silos, or they can really put all that work down, and they can show with example. Because right now the biggest problem of organizations are in the executive levels. Why? Because they need to really go down and show that it can be done, it is aligned, and they are the one giving the example. And we follow from the very top until the very bottom each one of the processes, and we train and show, and in a way we accompany those executives without any issue, and because we will leave and we will do all the things that those executives will never do, because they have to stay in those companies. We help them to do those things, and at the end, the base employees, they're way more happy because they saw, and they can really prove that there is a cultural change and they are aligned with it.
Thank you, Juan. I appreciate that. And as a follow-up question, there's a show that we have over here. I don't know if you have it, if it's all over the world, but it's Undercover Boss. Have you ever heard of this?
Nope.
And so one of the executives actually goes undercover and goes and does the work that probably never is done in different parts of the business. So what I'm wondering is, how important would it be for senior level executives to really get out in the field, so to speak, and really see all the different parts of the business and experience it as though they were a client?
It's the key, but unfortunately are the less. The ones that we're coming from the basic positions when I was 18, working on the bar, and little by little we came up. We're few. As I said, the business right now is more finance oriented or product oriented, and that what you said is crucial. I mean, without not knowing, if you don't know what that waiter or that maid in the room does, you will never be able to talk to them and to understand which tools do they need and what are they asking for. It's not about PowerPoint. You need to be there. And some companies, they have an internal inside cross training, but executives usually and rarely go to those cross training. I have been 5 years ago, 3 years ago, when we could be around and with no issues for the COVID. I have been doing the waiting. I've been doing waitress for 8 hours. I was dying. I couldn't hold the pan with all the drinks. After 8 hours, I said, "Oh my goodness, these people, how can they be here every day?" And that's the key, and showing them respect by being with them. And this, I think that we lost it, and we have to bring it back.
I can absolutely relate to this, Juan, because what I see in many industries, when the top management, executive management, is not involved in a change process, it's not working. And I guess that's what's happening in the hospitality industry. You have the executive management, the administration, and then you have the staff in the hotel. And the connection is lost. And I see this in different industries too. And for example, my teams in Spartan Performance System, we only work with an organization when the executive management is involved. We start on 3 levels: executive management, mid-management, stuff. Because most companies say, yeah, we have a gap, please train our staff. But it's not working. You have to work top down. And I think it's the same in the hospitality industry. You have to get that involved. You have to train them, and then they can train and coach their teams and get a much better understanding about their stuff and about their relationship with their staff. What do you see?
Yeah, absolutely. It's leading by example. I mean, I've seen so many executives, brilliant executives, but they were showing presentation and they were finance oriented. If you don't lead your teams by example, it's really hard that change is going to happen. Why? Because whether in the middle management or in the base employees, it's going to be stopped. And those are 80% of the company's employees. We don't have to forget. Middle management and top management, maybe 10-20%, but the rest, the ones who really make it happen, are the ones that 80%. So we have to bear in mind that if you don't lead with example and you don't make the effort of being there and showing them that you are the first by doing it, you will not make it.
And I also want to add to that, Roland, you talked about in all your travels, there's certain places that you remember that you just felt like a king, really, the way you were treated there. And that was probably not because what the property looked like or what they were serving or for in the restaurant, but probably how you were treated by the people there. And you might not remember their names, but you remember that you were well taken care of. And I think this is part of what happens with senior leadership. They're worried, for publicly traded companies, they're worried about the stock price. They're worried about 2 years from now, 5 years from now. But meanwhile, Susan at the front desk has the ability to have this amazing experience with the client to keep them coming back so that they spread the word. And leadership is not even looking at the importance of these small transactions that can have a long-lasting impact on the client.
Absolutely. And I strongly believe that the hospitality industry, they need a new culture of learning and educating their staff. I guess that's so important. Like really establishing an absolutely new culture, because new work requires new learning. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that new learning, it's available. It's just that they have to be flexible to change. And as we said at the beginning, at least here in Europe and specifically in Mallorca, because we are an island, and islands are even more conservative. It is funny, but when we do it and we show them, they are like surprised. They're surprised, but it works. I can tell you it works. And you show the results, and they're quite happy.
But we can only work with those who are open. So Juan, who should get in contact with you and your team?
Any small and medium range company that either their executive team is not able to touch the key, to really go for the main core things, or the ones that basically need a total shift. I mean, we're specialized through the last 20 years in many companies to give a turnaround. So those are the clients that can come to us, and we will be delighted at least to do them like a first draft of what we see, and if they like it, we can start, because we are there just for 12-24 months, and we implant ourselves, and then we leave. We don't want to be there. We want to show them the way and train their people to lead the rest of the road.
So I know that you speak several languages, so everybody can contact you from all over the world.
5 languages: German, French, English, Espanol, or Catalan. You can contact me anytime.
Great.
Thank you so much. Before we close out the show, I would love for you guys to share with anyone and everyone, including me, who hasn't been to Mallorca, what are the reasons to go there? Who wants to start?
Roland, you start.
Well, I came here 14 years ago because it was always, I come from a small country, a lot of snow, a lot of rain from Austria, beautiful, but we lost the sea access after First World War I. So it was always my dream to live on the seaside. And Mallorca is the place because it's an amazing, beautiful island. It has beaches, it has mountains, it has culture. It's large enough and not too small, so you can really do a lot of stuff here. And it has an amazing airport. You can travel every places the whole year, even out of season. So for me, Mallorca is the only tourist spot in Europe, so said, where you can travel the whole year without changing the aircraft anyway. So I love this island. It's beautiful here, but I guess it's also a challenge to live here. But it's so beautiful. So come here, visit us. I guess the hospitality industry is really welcoming you.
Thank you, Roland. Juan, what would you like to add to that?
Well, I'm not going to be objective because I'm Mallorcan, but I can tell you, since I was 16, I've been living abroad in the United States, UK, Germany, France, North of Africa, many places, and I return every time back to Mallorca. Why? Because of what Roland said, and seeing and knowing the island since I was born, in the last 10, 15 years has turned into a really, really international place for residents, that expats that are coming with their families. Lots of the American families that are coming, and they're really delighted to see their kids grow in a multicultural environment. So what I would define, the word, it's peace. It's a peaceful vibe island where you can find everything, but you're isolated from the rest of the world. That's what we like. And when we want something else, we take an airplane and we just join the rest of the world.
It sounds truly amazing. And what about the weather? Is it pretty consistent throughout the year?
Yeah, 16 to 18 degrees throughout the year. Degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit.
I was like, woo!
Yeah. So yeah, it's warm almost. Roland, 10 months on the year.
Yeah, actually, I'm a little bit hardcore. I use my swimming pool the whole year. It's not heated. But yeah, what I love here, the summer is not too hot and the winter is really nice. It's not cold, it's not freezing. So it's really nice weather. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's average. It's very beautiful to live here the whole year.
Sounds magnificent. Well, thank you again, both of you, for being here. Juan, I know you shared with us who should contact you, but if you could share your contact information, it is streaming, but for people on the radio who can't read it.
Yeah, I'm Juan Calvo. I'm the CEO and founder of Boutique Hotels Management. My email is juanjose@boutiquemanagement.com, and my telephone is 34, like international, 677-949167. So I will be delighted. Not for Spain, we work in 4 different countries. Anytime you need some advice or help, I will be delighted to help you.
And by the way, folks, the email address is spelled JUAN@BOUTIK Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Juan, for being here. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you for sharing your knowledge about the hospitality industry. Thank you, Jacalyn, for having me again. I'm looking forward to the next show and wish you a good time and a good day in the US.
Well, thank you. I've got to get to you and spotlight you for your information before you run off. How can people reach out to you, Roland?
Yeah, if you want to contact me, my email address is roland.friedl@partner-performance.com. I will spell it for you on the radio show. It's ROLAND@SPARTNER-performance.com. I'm looking forward to get in contact with you and help you where I can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roland. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you both again. Hopefully, I'll be meeting you both in person sometime. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Roland. I'll see you next week. And take care, Juan. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Jacalyn. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. If you missed any of the show, you can go over to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV. And we would love if you just click subscribe, and then you can see all of our shows there. We've got It's All About Dating coming up, and our guest is Sid McNair. And if you haven't heard, we've got an amazing online seminar coming up next week. It is called The Power of Listening Part 3. It is really for everyone. You don't have to have taken parts 1 or part 2 before that. Part 3 is featuring Madeline Chan, the award-winning international singer, songwriter, author, and producer. Together, she and I have put together this 90-minute course to help you engage your breath, your voice, and your listening skills. And it's so easy for you to join us. All you have to do is go over to Eventbrite and put in The Power of Listening. So I hope you'll join us. And again, that is next week. It is on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 6 p.m. British Summer Time. Other announcements that are very exciting. We are onboarding people for our Talking Heads platform. You might be wondering, what is a talking head? You've seen the trailer that we're running for it. So a talking head is someone who has 5 years experience in their industry, and they are recognized as a leading expert. They are at the top of their game, and they will be joining an elite group of people. It's a very small group who will be broadcasting on a regular basis, and they will be broadcasting not just here on our platform, but on other platforms as well. So if you think you have what it takes to be a talking head, you can contact me. I will find my banner. It's Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com. We can have a brief interview and make sure that we are on the same page in terms of what you're looking for and what we're looking for. Again, it's not for everyone. It's only for the best in the world. So thank you again for being here. Thank you to our audience for watching. Thank you to our guests. We really appreciate you. We'll look forward to seeing you very shortly on our next program. Again, please go to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, and subscribe. Thank you. Hello and welcome to USA Global TV, home of Talking Heads, and also welcome to our friends on Business Talk Radio. You are watching a trailer for the United Kitchens. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and I am privileged and honored to be working with two amazing chefs to bring this show to you on October 22nd. Our show features two wonderful people from different places in the world. Let's bring them on. We've got Ricky McKelty-McKenna joining us from Texas, and we've got Simon McDonald joining us from Scotland. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Ricky, do tell us what we can expect from you on October 22nd.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. I am Ricky McKenna. I am a certified nutritionist as well as a chef, and I have been preparing food for as long as I can remember. I'm also going to be showing you easy to prepare meals, and delicious, of course, how to use some old-fashioned gadgets that will save time and energy and help you understand what food is. It's food for thought, as well as wonderful food to put in your mouth and help your body be healthy and wonderful. Join us from Texas.
Thank you, Ricky. Yes, the great state of Texas. And joining us from Scotland, Simon. What can we expect from you on October 22nd?
Right, hello everybody, I'm Simon MacDonald. I'm in the beautiful West Highlands of Scotland, magnificent place, full of history, full of heritage. Now, do you know how to use one of these? Or a smaller one or a bigger one? Do you know how to sharpen them? I'll teach you, I'll show you. This will help your kitchen skills enormously. And I'll also show you traditional foods, modern foods, coming with the heritage and the background of Scotland and all our flavors that we have for you.
Thank you so much, Simon. And for those of you wondering, how can you watch our program? Well, we will be live on 11 different platforms, and then we'll become a podcast on 6 others. But the best way is to go to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, and you can subscribe and watch this fabulous show and all the other shows that we have coming for you. So we'll see you then. Thank you so much from the United Kitchens and the Mad Hatters. Take your listening skills to the next level with the Power of Listening online seminar. Hi, Dr. Jacalyn here with award-winning artist Madeline Chan, and we have teamed up to bring you this fabulous course. It's called The Power of Listening, the union of breath, voice, and communication. Madeline, what can you tell everyone about this course?
Absolutely, Jacalyn. Right. For going on this course, it will enable you to connect to your inner voice. Your inner voice is the voice that expresses your passion, purpose, belief, your innermost desires, your dreams, aspirations. And also it will help you to become a leader, to become strong in your voice, to voice out what you want to voice out, nothing more and nothing less. It will also give you the ability to be able to breathe correctly, to help to improve your health. There's a lots of fun as well. We've got role play as well, haven't we, Jacalyn? We've got role play.
We do. So the divine universe has brought us together because my area of focus is helping you be better listeners. And Madeline is an expert. She's a vocal coach. She's a performer, and she is very intuitive. So she will share with us the power of your voice and breathing, and together we will help you be a more effective communicator. So how do you get access and get involved? You can go over to Eventbrite to book your ticket. In the search engine, just put in The Power of Listening Part 3. And we'll see them there, Madeline, October the 19th.
Absolutely, Jacalyn. We will see you there. Don't miss out, everyone. Honestly, now is the time. Connect, discover your inner voice.
Woo! We'll see you there. 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. British Summer Time. The Power of Listening, the union of breath, voice, and effective communication. Bye, everyone.
Bye.